Oh, sir. Emotional intelligence. Yes, sir. Please. Good, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good, sir.
Okay, good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
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 Will we start today's interaction? Yes. We can start with this. As you know, during the last 2-3 sessions, I've interacted with team building, leadership, followed by that conflicts and conflict resolution. And today, I will be talking to you about another important topic that is useful for teachers in day-to-day activities, and for anybody for that matter who is interested in interacting with people. As I said, as you know, whether we like it or not, every day we need to interact with different types of people. And by nature, man is a bundle of emotions. And those who know how to manage their emotions can manage anything under the sun. Therefore, I thought this is a relevant topic for a group of teachers, young teachers, who are engaged in molding the behaviors of youngsters. Therefore, I have taken this topic. As we discussed yesterday, before I take you towards this topic, if you have any queries to make, any comments about earlier interactions, you are welcome. Otherwise, we can move towards this topic.
Sir, very good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, I'm Jai Prasad from Bijapur, sir.
Okay, good.
Sir, yesterday we had talked about the conflict management, sir.
Yeah.
In this wing, in the year of the 1955, one of the psychologists, Joseph Luft, they had contributed towards in the wing of Johari Window, sir.
Yes.
Then what is exactly then how they are going to relate it with the conflict management, sir, Johari Window?
Even I thought of discussing with you there, but due to paucity of time, we could not do that. Johari Window is once again an attempt to describe individuals. You said something about Johari Window. It is not one person. Actually, this is a concept developed by two individuals, Joseph Luft and Harry Ingram. Joseph Luft and Harry Ingram incidentally happens to be a mother and the daughter. A mother and the daughter psychologists worked together for about 40 years and came out with the concept Johari Window. Joseph Luft and Harry Ingram. Not a single person. It's not even male, as you mentioned. There are two women worked on this. It is to say, your world and the perception of your world depends on how do you look at the world. There are four positions. Known to me, unknown to others. Known to others, unknown to me. Known to me and known to others. This is, in other words, the life positions that I mentioned yesterday about I am okay, you are okay, I am not okay, you are not okay. I gave four positions, no? Likewise, assumptions about self and assumptions about others. Any event, if an individual thinks that it is known to me, unknown to others, he thinks I am the genius, I only know this, others don't know this. Opposite of that, known to others, unknown to me. Everybody knows it, but I don't know. That makes the person to think that I am ignorant and I am unaware of the happenings around me, and as a result, he thinks he has to get it from others and he is not having it. Third option is unknown to others, unknown to me also. This is called the blank area, dark area, where both of us are not aware of the happenings. Even I don't know, you don't know. It's a situation of looking the world at the dark. But the opposite of that is known to me and known to others. When you think it is known to me and known to others also, you will be in an open mind. When you believe known to me, known to others, it is called open area. When you think unknown to me and unknown to others, it is called dark area. When you think known to others, not known to me, it is a blind area. It is related to your mind. How do you keep your mind? If you want to be open-minded, think that I know, you know. So what? Things will become easy. Just a minute, I am getting an urgent call, I believe. Manjunath, heli Manjunath. Illa classroom avutane. Known to me and unknown to others means I know, others don't know. This mindset makes the people to underestimate, overestimate, or to remain in ignorance in their own fields of operation. It is applied to anybody and everybody in life. As much as possible, if you want to be free and comfortable, think like, I know, you know, no problem, I am not hiding. When you think, known to me, you don't know that, you are hiding the things. If you hide, you cannot be comfortable. If you are open, you can be comfortable. That's what the concept of Johari Window developed by these psychologists, Joseph Lift and Harry Ingram. If there are any more queries, you can.
Thank you.
It's a wonderful book. You can read it. Any more questions? Shall we go further? With your concurrence, I am moving to the next topic, that is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is not I am sure it's not a new topic for you. Most of you might have heard of it. If anybody can make a mention of that, I will appreciate. I am sure you have heard this topic. It's a very popular topic these days. If anybody can comment on your knowledge of emotional intelligence, I will appreciate. The question to you is, what do you know about emotional intelligence?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. It's Vandana. Sir, emotional intelligence stands for how well you are able to manage your emotion in various situations.
Good, good. Anything more? Emotional intelligence.
Sir, our PM Devraj sir, Kanapurudinda.
Matadi Devraj avaru.
Sir, ಇವರು our Prime Minister, some situations like COVID-19 ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಆದಾಗ ಒಂದು ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಏನೋ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ವೆದರ್ ಇಟ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಟ್ರೂ ಆರ್ ರಾಂಗ್, ಆದ್ರೆ ಅದೊಂದು ಎಮೋಷನಲ್ ಸ್ಪೀಚ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಐಡಿಯಾಲಜಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಅದೊಂದು ಎಮೋಷನಲ್ ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಾನೆ ನಾನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಸರ್.
ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಎಮೋಷನಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಾಣಬಹುದು, ಆ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಎಮೋಷನಲ್ ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಎಮೋಷನಲ್ ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವ ಯಾವ ಸಂದರ್ಭಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾವನಾತ್ಮಕವಾದ ಸನ್ನಿವೇಶಗಳನ್ನ ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸುವಂತ ಚಾಕಚಕ್ಯತೆ. ಸಂದರ್ಭಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಭಾವನಾತ್ಮಕವಾಗಿರ್ತವೆ. ಅಂತ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಭಾವನೆಗಳು ಯಾವ ಸಂದರ್ಭಕ್ಕೆ ಸೂಕ್ತ ಎಂದು ನಿರ್ಧರಿಸಿ ಸೂಕ್ತವಾದ ಭಾವನೆಗಳನ್ನು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಪಡಿಸಿ ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತವಲ್ಲದನ್ನು ನಿಯಂತ್ರಿಸುವ ಕಲೆಗೆ ಎಮೋಷನಲ್ ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಭಾವನಾತ್ಮಕ ಚಾಣಕ್ಯತೆ, ಚತುರತೆ, ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತಿಕೆ ಅಂತ ಕರಿಬಹುದು. ಚಾಣಕ್ಯತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ನೇಮ್ ಜೊತೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಚತುರತೆ, ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತಿಕೆ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸಂದರ್ಭವನ್ನ ನಿಭಾಯಿಸುವಂತ ಕಲೆ. ನಾನು ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಮುಂದೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ತಮಗೆ ಇಫ್ ದರ್ ಆರ್ ಎನಿ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್, ಎನಿಬಡಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ರೈಸ್ ಅಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ಅಂಡ್ when I am talking to my colleagues from Karnataka in Kannada, if it is not a problem for others, it will be okay. Otherwise, if you cannot follow Kannada, you can ask questions so that I will clarify what I have spoken to my other colleagues. Okay, because others should not think if there are anybody from other states who cannot follow Kannada, it must not be a problem when we do such conversations. They should not think bad. This is also an emotional issue, right? What is emotional intelligence? Before I take you there, let me tell you, emotional intelligence sets apart individuals. Every individual is the same, but what makes one person to be different from other? What makes one person as good, one person as bad, one person as intelligent, one as not? It is all because of their capacity of utilizing emotional intelligence. You will be knowing here, teachers, as a part of their duty, every time experiences a sort of emotional situations. What are the emotional situations that teachers encounter normally? It is the motivational difficulties of students when you have to encourage students to take up a course, study, work hard, or something like that. Motivational related issues. When you have to guide a student how to get adjusted to the college environment, then we need to handle emotions of the gullible, disturbed students. And when the students comes out with the problems like study skills, they ask questions, or how to study, I cannot follow, I have a problem, something like that. Then we have to deal with them to help them to understand the study skills. Many a time students also comes with questions like future directions. So what can I do in my future? Because many a time the directions that we give determines the fate of a student. In order to do that, we need to understand the emotions of the students, and we must touch their emotional mindset so that they will follow the guidelines that we are giving. Many students have personal problems. They look at the teacher as their friend, philosopher, and a guide to sort out their personal problems. In addition to academic issues, we need to help them to overcome the personal crisis many a time. Then we need to be emotional in our approach. As a matter of fact, I don't know whether you agree or not, I have listed a couple of issues. The present generation of students, they have certain characteristics. Incidentally, their interpersonal skills are less developed. Interpersonal skills means ability to understand other, ability to manage crisis, conflicts, disturbing situation is not that good these days, because they are all much pampered children of the present generation parents. When compared to our parents, these days parents will pamper a lot the young kids because of the facilities that they have. As a result, the present day students are not interpersonally that strong. Where they are strong, they are strong in computer skills. Their computer capabilities and capacity to handle mobile phones, is so strong that makes them very smart in front of everybody. And as a result, they appears to be very skeptical and desensitized. Desensitized means they don't listen to the problems of others. They don't worry about what's happening across. They think they are busy with something that they are enjoying. If you give them a mobile phone, they will forget the world. If you make them to sit in front of a computer, they will forget the rest of the world. They think everything is available on the computer, everything is on their hand in the form of a mobile phone. But one thing that you can appreciate about the present day youngsters is they are good in multitasking. They can do many things, which is not possible for us. You might have seen in the classrooms, they pretend as if they are listening to your lecture, but both the hands are working on the mobile phone. At a time, they will listen, they will send message, they will listen to messages. They can do many tasks at a time. But at the same time, The present day generation students are very comfortable in challenging others. They ask questions, they make criticisms, challenge anybody, let it be their parents. They challenge everybody. Along with that, they have high expectations from everything that they encounter. They put little efforts, but they want others to deliver more to them. Their expectations are very high. If they are not getting anything, they are good in negotiation also. They come for a bargaining. If you say tomorrow there will be a test, the first question they ask is, what is the syllabus for the test? Do you cover all the chapters? If you say yes, they will say, no, sir, only first 2 chapters, 3 chapters, something like that. They are good in negotiation. These type of people are to be handled by teachers. But invariably, all teachers belongs to a different generation. There is a generation gap between the students and the teachers naturally. I think very few young teachers may not accept this. A generation gap normally happens to be a gap of about 15 to 20 years. If there is 15 to 20 years of gap between 2 persons, that you can call generation gap. But many young teachers I can see, they may not be having such a big gap, but still the mindset, your mentality makes you to be different from your students. Teaching, is a typical job, is a totally different type of job that involves coordination between emotions. Your actions are to be filled with emotions. Your teaching must be filled with love, liking towards the students, towards your subject, involvement, things like that. But emotions always cannot be expected to be the same. I said in the beginning itself, man is a bundle of emotions. Man minus emotion is a robot, is a machine. We do have likes, dislikes, love, hatredness, things like that. But when we stand in front of our students, there shall not be scope for all these things. We must act like somebody who is above all this and addressing their own problems. Otherwise, students will classify as based on the emotions that is used many a time. Therefore, teaching involves a coordination between our actions and emotions. At home, we may not be happy, maybe having 100 personal problems. But when we come to the college, with a smiling face, you must teach your students. If yours is not a smiling face, for any reason, students will read that as disliking to engage the class. They will call you gloomy. They will call you moody. Students are good in giving nicknames. Therefore, we need to manage our emotions properly. Teaching is a sensitive and emotional job that we must keep in mind. See, what is this emotion is all about and how it affects our teaching. All learning and teaching, has an emotional base. We must understand that teaching and learning has an emotional base. Without emotion, one cannot teach. Teachers need to create a learning environment that promotes emotional security for the students. It is our job to create a learning environment for students wherein they feel they are safe, they are comfortable, they are liked by somebody in the environment. Then only they will love to be in your class. Followed by that, intelligent use of one's emotion by teachers in the classrooms, that makes students to learn anything with a commitment. Because the tone of the class is set by the tone of the teacher's emotion. If you are happy, that day's class will become happier. If you are suffering from something unwanted in your mind, that will be reflected on the student. Poor students are subject to your emotions. Many teachers used to say that, I am so powerful that I can change the mood of the class. The mood of the class depends on the mood of the student. Therefore, creating a student-centered learning environment, student-focused classroom environment is in the hands of the teachers At the first instance, teachers need to handle their emotions properly, and they must teach their students to handle the same. Because if we teach how to be stable, emotionally competent to our students, that will help them in their future endeavors. Therefore, here in the teaching learning process, students normally perceives the students normally influenced by their perception of teacher's behavior. In any class or any level, the students' behavior is influenced by their perception of teacher's behavior. I am using the word perception purposefully because you may be behaving with a good intent, but the students are perceiving it negatively. Their perception of your behavior influences them. I have been repeatedly telling, students normally don't remember what subject you have taught, what formulas you have explained, but they never forget how did you made them to feel inside the class. Just recall your student days. You will never forget a teacher who had appreciated you when you did something good. Am I reaching? And also, you will never forget a teacher who have insulted and humiliated you in front of everybody. Am I right? I want the reactions, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You will remember those teachers who have encouraged you, insulted you, and who made some influence on you. And even in your classes, you might have taught several batches of students. You don't remember all the students, all the rank holders, but you remember the students who are different because of their emotions, like one who was very helping, leadership quality, one who was very mischievous, one who had cheated you on some grounds. Such students you will never forget. Therefore, emotions plays a major role in our day-to-day activities as teachers. I run through this. This is not new to you. As a teacher, we need to be perfect in the requirements, the characteristics of a good teacher. First thing is knowledge of self. Know yourself. You have taken this job as a passion. Love this job. Knowledge of self. What you think of you that makes big in your dealings. Emotional stability. Every teacher needs to be emotionally stable. Our likes and dislikes must not be imposed on anybody. Followed by that, we must have a vision for anything that we are doing. We must always think in the long-term perspective. If I do this today, what will happen to my students' future, my country's future? Likewise, ability to pursue long-term goals is the vision that must be there. Followed by that, all teachers need to be socially sensitive. Social sensitivity is another important thing that we need to remember. Teacher's job is not only to complete the syllabus. Our job is to prepare responsible members of the community, responsible citizens of the country. Unless we have the social sensitivity, we cannot expect that from our students. And we should have ability to impress on the student. That is another important characteristic of a good teacher. I think you can follow me what I'm trying to say. You must be able to impress on your students. Don't use the shortcuts. Don't use the smart methods of impressing. It must be a long-lasting possible impression that you are making on the teacher, on the student. Such impressions will never go waste. In the beginning, when you are advising them, guiding them, or suggesting them something, they may not be able to understand. But after some time, they will realize its worth. Good teachers will never be forgotten by the students. Average teachers who gave them popular type of incentives, impressed them through populistic method, they will be forgotten easily. Say, for instance, Those who helped the students to copy in the examination will not be remembered, believe me. They make casual comments outside after the exam, and after 10 years that there was a teacher who was helping me. And those who have given the books, those who helped them to prepare well, those who clarified their doubts at times of difficulty will never be forgotten. Therefore, impress them through possible logical means. To do all this, teachers need to have intuitiveness. Intuitiveness means sixth sense. Intuition is said to be the sixth sense. Teachers must have the capacity to imagine and construct a picture of the student's capacity, ability, which they may not express many a time. There may be a highly talented student who may not be good in conversation. There are hundreds of students with hidden talents. There may not be proper exposure for them to present that. Under that situation, teachers need to use their intuition, the sixth sense, the invisible means of understanding students and recognize the worth in them. Who knows who becomes what after some time. Therefore, it is in the hands of the teachers to identify the talent, recognize them, encourage them to build the nation, to build the society. Therefore, my point is to say that teachers must have sixth sense, which is called intuitiveness, beyond the five senses to understand the students. Followed by that, integrity. Integrity of teachers, this is the ultimate thing. Students from a distance observe the teachers. Whether you agree or not, they are the best role models. At certain age, they are impressed by this teacher's behavior. They imitate their teachers. They record every act of importance of their teachers in their mind, and appropriate time they make use of it. Therefore, we must always set good examples. We must always set good examples. Teachers cannot afford to commit mistakes. I am repeatedly telling. Let anybody commit mistake. Let anybody become corrupt. Let anybody become injustice. That will be excused. Teachers should not become that. The reason is, I mentioned even my other sessions. If a doctor commits a mistake, that mistake will be buried. It goes with the patient. If a lawyer commits a mistake, that mistake will be hanged. At the most, the client may be given death sentence. If a teacher commits a mistake, that mistake will be spread to generations. Teachers have the capacity to spoil generations, believe me, if they mind. At the same time, teachers have the capacity to reform the generations. Great personalities happened, are created, molded by good teachers only. If the teachers mind, they can change the society. History is an example for that. So therefore, teachers need to have these extraordinary qualities. I am yet to take you towards emotional intelligence. In order to make you understand the concept emotional intelligence, I thought it is easy if I divide the word into two, one as emotion, other one as intelligence. We are all familiar with intelligence. Intelligence is something that helps us to solve problems every day. It is the ability of an individual in terms of his analytical reasoning, verbal skills, spatial ability, attention capacity, memory capacity, and judgment capacity. These things are called in simple words intelligence. Most of you have cleared a competitive examination to get into this profession. A written test wherein questions related to general ability, mathematical ability, test of reasoning, vocabulary, and all these things are asked. These things are concerned with testing an individual's capacity in terms of a language, judgment, mathematics, problem solving, things like that. They are called intelligence, with which we are all familiar. But remember, many a time, to discharge the duties given to us, to do the job that was assigned to us, just this intelligence is not adequate. I am to tell you, one who has secured highest marks in the written test may not be an excellent teacher in the classroom. Do you agree with me? One who has secured a rank may not be able to convince people about his subject. Therefore, just intelligence cannot be considered as everything. It requires something else. I said teaching is a coordination between action and emotions. An excellent teacher, a genius in mathematics is a very strong person in mathematics, but don't like to teach mathematics to anybody. What is the use? A very intelligent doctor, very powerful doctor, but don't love his patients, don't care for his patients. What is the use? How can we call him an excellent doctor? He may be good in operation, but not going to the operation theaters at all. What is the use? An excellent musician, a learned person, but never presents it before anybody. What is the use? You may say that he is doing it for his happiness, but that's personal. Likewise here, when you have chosen this teaching job, it is not your intelligence alone that can predict your success. Intelligence, or IQ, what we call, is a weak predictor of job performance, achievements, and overall success in life. Many people with high IQ, intelligent quotient have miserably failed in life. Their life is not that happier. Happiness and intelligence are not related. Performance and intelligence are not related. And many people who don't know how to put their signature, they might have earned millions, trillions of, shall I say, rupees or terms, dollars, tons of money. They may not be knowing how to put their signature. They don't know mathematics. They don't know any legal issues, but still they are doing very well in life. How it has become possible? It is not their intelligence that is giving them results. What is very important to predict success of anybody in their life, believe me, the most significant predictor of success of anybody in life, at the first instance, ability to handle frustrations. And at the second instance, ability to manage own emotions. And at the third instance, ability to manage own social skills. Okay? I must tell you, the success of an individual cannot be predicted on his IQ alone. IQ means competence in mathematics, English language, or any other popular language, competence in reasoning, judgment capacity, what we call intelligence. You may be knowing there is a saying, your intelligence can get you a job through a competitive examination. Your IQ can get you a job. But to be happy on the job, you must have something beyond that. That is called EQ. EQ means emotional quotient. If you want to grow on the job, if you want to be satisfied on the job, you need to have something called RQ and SQ. RQ means relationship quotient. SQ means spirituality quotient. Relationship quotient and spirituality quotients makes you happy in whatever you are doing. See, Because of your intelligence, you got into this job of teaching. Unless you love this job, you cannot give justice. Unless you like this job, you cannot be happy. When you are not happy, you will never make others happy. Am I right? Can you follow me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir.
If you don't
Yes,
accept, it's a liberty to say no, we don't accept. Therefore, here, to be happy on the job, you must have not only IQ, EQ, RQ, SQs are important. Therefore, intelligence, we understood, it is about one's capacity in mathematics, language, judgment, ability to solve problems. But what are emotions? What are emotions? Emotions, they are internal conscious state of mind that we infer in ourselves and others. They are subjective and based on personal experience. Further, they are based on the psychological episodes an individual has passed through in his life. Followed by that, all emotions are connected to our knowledge and actions. Followed by that, it is a state of excitement, both physically and mentally expressed. In the beginning, one of my friends asked a question, what is emotion about? Emotions are based on an individual's subjective state of mind that makes him to be excited physically and mentally at a given point of time, which is based on his personal experience, which is based on the psychological episodes he has undergone throughout his life, I said. What does it mean? Whether anybody taught us as to when to cry, when to laugh. ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಯಾವಾಗ ಅಳಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಡಿಕ್ಟೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಲ್ಸ್ಕೊಟ್ರ ನಮಗೆ? ಅಳು ಯಾವಾಗ ಬರ್ತದೆ? ಬರ್ತದೆ. Am I reaching? ಹೇಳಿ, ತಾವ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ರಿ ಏನೋ.
ಯಾವಾಗ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಸರ್, ದುಃಖ ಆದಾಗ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್.
ದುಃಖ ಯಾವಾಗ ಬರ್ತದೆ? ದುಃಖದ
unsatisfied to any expectations.
ನೀವು ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಒಂದು ಐಡಿಯಾ ನನಗೆ ಏನೋ ಹೇಳಿಸ್ತು. ದುಃಖ ಯಾವಾಗ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಅಂದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ದುಃಖ ಯಾವಾಗ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಂತೆ, ಬುದ್ಧನನ್ನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡಂತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಓಕೆ, ದುಃಖವೆಂದರೆ
ದುಃಖಕ್ಕೆ ಮೂಲ
ಯಾವುದು? ಯಾವುದು ದುಃಖ? ದುಃಖವೆಂದರೆ ಯಾವುದು? ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ದುಃಖ ಅನ್ನೋದು?
ಸರ್, ನಾವು ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದು ಆಗದೆ ಇರೋದಾಗ ಅದು ದುಃಖ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
ನಾವು ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡದ್ದು ಆಗದೆ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ದುಃಖ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಅವಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಳೋದು. ಕೆಲವರು ಆಗ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ನಗ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ. See, I told you on the other day, teach my son how to laugh at the time of misery. ಸಂದಿಗ್ಧ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ, ಕಷ್ಟದ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಗುವುದು ಹೇಗೆಂದು ಅವನಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿಕೊಡಿ. ಆಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅವನನ್ನು ನಾನು ವಿದ್ಯಾವಂತನೆಂದು ಒಪ್ಪಿಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಕಷ್ಟ ಬಂದಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ, ಆದ್ರೆ ಕಷ್ಟವನ್ನ ಸವಾಲಾಗಿ ಸ್ವೀಕರಿಸಿ ಕಷ್ಟವನ್ನ ನೋಡಿ ನಕ್ಕು ಬಿಡುವುದು, ತನ್ನನ್ನೇ ತಾನೇ ಅಪಹಾಸ್ಯಕ್ಕೊಳಪಡಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವುದು. ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ ಕಷ್ಟ ಬಂದಾಗ ಈ ಕಷ್ಟ ನನಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಬಂತು ನನಗೇನೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ನನಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಸಿದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ನಿಮ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಬರ್ತದಲ್ವಾ? ಲಾಫ್ ಅಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಮಿಸರಿ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಷ್ಟ ಅದು. ಲವ್ ಯುವರ್ ಎನಿಮೀಸ್. ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಲವ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಇಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟವ್ರನ್ನ ಲವ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್. ಲವ್ ಯುವರ್ ಎನಿಮೀಸ್. ಅಪ್ರಿಶಿಯೇಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಕ್ರಿಟಿಕ್ಸ್. appreciate your critics. Am I reaching? Jasti aita bodhane?
No, sir. We are getting, sir. Go ahead. It's very important. Interesting.
Teachers weakness idu. ಅವಕಾಶ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಆದವರು ನಮಗೆ ಈ ಗುಣಗಳು ಇರಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಕಾಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಬೇಜಾರು ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಾರ್ದು. 1 ಗಂಟೆ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ, 1 hour ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡಿ ಬರುವಾಗ ಸರ್ ಇವತ್ತು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತೇ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಮುಗಿದೋಯ್ತು. ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅದನ್ನ. ಇನ್ 1 words ಟು ಪೀಪಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ಸೇ ಸರ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನಾಟ್ ಫಾಲೋ ಯು ಅಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಹೀಗಿರುವಾಗ ಎಮೋಷನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ internal conscious state of mind that we infer in ourselves and others. They are subjective, based on personal experience, based on psychological episodes. ಈ ಸೈಕಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಮಾತನ್ನ ಹೇಳಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾನು ಇಷ್ಟ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅಳುವುದು, ನಗುವುದು ಇದೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನ ನಮಗೆ ನಾವು ಎದುರಿಸಿದಂತ ಮಾನಸಿಕ ಸಂದರ್ಭಗಳು ಕಲಿಸಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿವೆ. ವೆನ್ ಟು ಕ್ರೈ, ವೆನ್ ಟು ಲಾಫ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು based on the psychological episodes that we have encountered in life that made us to do so. By observation, we have learnt all this. When to cry, when to be happy, how to behave in a marriage party, how to behave in a funeral party. These are all the things that we have learned. Aa karanakke, every one of us have the emotions. What are these emotions? There are 100 different methods or ways of expressing emotions, but the simple ones are, you can say, what are emotions means: joy, happiness, surprise, anxiety, sadness, anger, jealous, disgust, frustration, fear, love. ಇದೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನ ಒಟ್ಟಾಗಿ ಒಂದೇ ಪದದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಎಮೋಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ. Emotions includes love, fear, hatredness, anger, sadness, shyness. Totally, it is called emotions.
Sir, ನವರಸ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ ಸರ್?
ಇಲ್ಲ, ನವರಸಗಳು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನ ಒಳಗೊಂಡಂತೆ ನಾವು ನೀಡುವ ಸಂವಹನ ಕ್ರಿಯೆ, ಸಂವಹನ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆನ ನವರಸ ಅಂತೀವಿ. 9 ರಸಗಳು ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಿ. ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಖುಷಿಯಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡಿ, ಯಾವ್ದು 9 ರಸಗಳು?
ಸರ್
ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ನವರಸಗಳನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಿ ಯಾವ್ದಾವ್ದಂತ?
ಸರ್ ಸರ್ ಸುಖ, ದುಃಖ, ವಿಭತ್ಸ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಕ್ರೋಧ, ಮತ್ಸರ, ಬಹುಶಃ ಇನ್ನು ಕೆಲವು ಇದಾವೆ ಸರ್, ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ ಈಗ ನೆನಪಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ಹಾಸ್ಯ, ಪ್ರೀತಿ,
ಅರಿಷಡ್ವರ್ಗಗಳ ಜೊತೆ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಿ. ಅರಿಷಡ್ವರ್ಗಗಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಿ. ನವರಸಗಳು ಭಾವನೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟದ್ದೆ, ಸುಖ ದುಃಖಗಳಲ್ಲ. ನವರಸ ಅಂತ ಯಾಕೆ ಬಳಸ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಭಾವನೆಗಳನ್ನ ಒಳಗೊಂಡದ್ದು. ಶೃಂಗಾರ, ವಿಭಿತ್ಸ, ಇವರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನ ಒಳಗೊಂಡಂತೆ ಹೇಳೋದನ್ನ ನಾವು ನವರಸಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಈ ನವರಸಗಳು ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬಂತು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾವನೆಗಳಿಂದ. ಆ ಭಾವನೆಗಳು ಯಾವುದು? ಈಗ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ಯಾಡ್ನೆಸ್, ಆಂಗರ್, like, dislike, happiness, disgust, jealous, ಅಸೂಯೆ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮನುಷ್ಯರಲ್ಲೂ ಇರುವಂತಾವೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಎಮೋಷನಲ್ ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಮುಂದೆ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮೊದಲು ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡೋದು ನಾನು. We are all subject to all this. Man is a bundle of emotions. Knowingly or unknowingly, we have a store, we have a preservation of all these characters internally. We hate something, like something, love something, afraid of something. Something makes us happy, something makes us jealous of others. Emotional intelligence is the capacity of an individual to manage all this appropriately in his day-to-day conversation, day-to-day interaction, in order to maintain good relationship with others. You have to speak to somebody with a smiling face. You have to instruct somebody with rough words. When you give command, you must be strict. When you appreciate somebody, you must be soft. When you criticize somebody, you must be rigid. When you interact with your students, when they did something good, you must appreciate their good character. When they go wrong, you must be strict, rigid, critical in commenting about that mistake. There are different types of students in a class. A careless, a careful, a mischievous, an intelligent, a dull, one with plenty opportunity and blessings, one with hundreds of problems. You cannot speak to everybody in the same tone, It is the tone that matters a lot many a time. Voice modulations that matters a lot many a time. Teachers are the communicators, believe me. Teaching job is communicating job. And our job is in no way different from that of an artist. We are like stage artists. Only difference is we don't go with costumes and makeup. Every day we have to act in front of them. By hiding hundreds of feelings, sufferings that we had, maybe having inside our mind, we must teach them the subject of that day. I think I'm reaching you. Am I reaching? Therefore, here you should know what emotions are to be hidden, what emotions are to be expressed, and sometimes what happens, the mischiefs of our students makes us angry. We feel to give them a hit, but we cannot do so. Many a time it makes us to use abusive words. We are not gods and goddesses, but we cannot do so because the position in which we are is admired by many. If we commit a mistake, who will correct this society? I think I'm reaching you. Therefore, emotions are subjective expressions based on an individual's capacity. Individuals must know when to use what emotion. Anger is the worst enemy of the mankind. But there is a saying, nobody can make you angry without your permission. Nobody can make you angry without your permission. But anger, it is the worst enemy. I've been repeatedly telling, wars are not fought between countries. Wars are fought between minds. If these minds are polluted, if these minds are corrupted, that can become more destructive than a nitrogen bomb. I think you are getting my point. Therefore, we must know how to manage our emotions. If the emotions are properly managed, both in ourselves and that of others, world will become a better place to live. Greed is an emotion. Greed. It is the greed that makes people to get into fraud. That fraud will make the people to be corrupt, disturbed. They spoil the society. They lose their happiness. How to be happy is $1 million question. Where is that happiness? A happy mind can think always happily and make others happy. But a disturbed mind will spread same disturbance to everybody. Teachers, have the responsibility to mold the young minds. We should know what are positive emotions, what are negative to the community, and only such things must be taught. But many a time, we don't know about emotions much. I will just tell you what are the characteristics of emotions. Emotions are chaotic, haphazard, superfluous, incompatible with reasoning, disorganized, largely visceral, resulting in lack of effective adjustment. Emotions are superfluous. They are unorganized. Many a time, we cannot guess when it will come and when it will go. As I told you, you can give a lecture on how to control anger. When somebody irritates you, you will become angry. Am I reaching? ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಒಂದು ಹಳೆ ಕಾಲದ ಕತೆ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಕಾಶಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಬಂದ ತಂದೆಯನ್ನ ಮಗ ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ಅಪ್ಪ ಕಾಶಿಗೆ ಹೋದವ್ರು ಏನನ್ನಾದ್ರೂ ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕಂತೆ, ಈ ಸಲ ನೀವೇನ್ ಬಿಟ್ರಿ? ಅಪ್ಪ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಈ ಸಲ ಕಾಶಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ನಾನು ಕೋಪ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀನಪ್ಪ. ಮಗ ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ಅಪ್ಪ ಕೋಪ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ರ? ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ ಕಣೋ. ನಿಜವಾಗೂ ಬಿಟ್ರ? ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ ಕಣೋ. ಅಪ್ಪ ಕೋಪ ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ ಬಿಟ್ರ? ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ ಕಣೋ ಕತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರ. Hope I am reaching you. Okay, this is not just to say that anger can be given up as and when you wish. You can give it up only when you change your attitude, you change your perception, you change your thinking. Not to get angry. That adds to your patience. When you are patient, you will be thinking creatively, positively, inclusively. But when you are angry, your rationality, your creativity, originality, everything will be affected. How to get out of this? You may be knowing there is an old story about anger. When an innovator conquered India because of the continuous attack, after conquering many parts of India, a foreign innovator said, I won India. India has become mine. I have conquered India. By seeing this, somebody said, no, you have snatched just something from India and you have not conquered India. India's wealth is still with them. He asked, what is that wealth? They have a secret. It is their wealth. What is that secret? He said, I don't know. There are great people who know that. Who are those great people? He went in search of them. Everybody is directed to somebody. You ask him, you ask him, you ask him. Ultimately, that innovator ended with encountering a monk in the forest, a Buddhist monk in the forest. People said, he knows that secret, go and ask him. That innovator went and asked. Everybody says, Indians are very rich. They have a secret of richness. What is that? That monk was meditating. He did not open his eyes. He did not look at this fellow. This innovator started shouting, hey, poor monk, it is me who conquered the world, asking you to tell the answer. Open your eyes and tell me, otherwise I will kill you. That monk said, what can you do? An ordinary slave, how can you kill me? He said, I'm a slave? Do you think I'm a slave? I'm an emperor. I have conquered your country. He said, when you have not conquered your slave, how can you say you are my king? You are my slave's slave. You are my slave's slave. He asked, who is your slave? My slave is the anger. To conquer the anger, I am meditating today. But today, you are under the influence of that anger. If you cannot conquer your anger, you cannot conquer anybody. It's an old story. I have recalled and presented as little as possible before you. Inside the classroom, there are millions of reasons for us to get angry. But how to control that? It's $1 million question. Followed by this, many a time when we speak...
Sir, sorry to interrupt, sir. Sir, I feel strongly to control an emotion instead of controlling. I think it is better to manage.
I used the word already in the second slide itself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So as a teacher, instead of controlling anger inside the classroom, if we better to manage it,
wonderful.
I think it will be easy for a teacher.
Yeah,
Isn't it, sir?
I appreciate it. To make it simpler, I have been using the word control. Manage it. If you manage, sometimes you have to use it for positive reasons. Control means totally elimination or restricting. Managing means at times you must pretend anger. Agree?
Yes, sir. And at times showing anger in a very positive manner so that our emotion
So
will
you are
ventilate.
showing anger in a positive manner. That's
Yes.
good. I like
So
it.
we'll be free. We are not carrying any of the emotion
I like
further.
this. It's a good suggestion. I used this word somewhere, but to make it simpler, I've been using like this. So that manage your anger, because emotional intelligence is concerned with managing emotions only, not controlling emotions. But many times people think emotions are negative. Why do they say emotions are negative? You know, anger is not negative, greed is not negative. We made it negative, that's it. The reason is we assume that emotions leads to overgeneralization, emotions leads to excessive worrying, emotion makes us to think worrying can solve the problem, emotions makes us to jump into negative conclusions, emotions lead to labeling and mislabeling, calling someone as good, someone as bad, someone as a friend, someone as an enemy. It's all emotion. Emotions leads to personalization of everything. Emotions leads to stonewalling. Stonewalling means putting barricades, putting an obstacle between people. Emotions leads to criticisms and contempt. This is a general tendency, even people to believe that the moment you use emotions, don't be emotional, people say. If you are not emotional, you are not a human being at all. Am I right? You will be human being as long as you are emotional. That's why I said, don't eliminate any human characters from you. Manage them appropriately. Say for instance, desires. Desires are not bad. Thinking that desires are the root cause of misery. If you eliminate 100% desires, there is no life at all. Agree? Satisfaction, contentment, thinking that satisfaction is good, before the event happens, if you are satisfied, if you say, I'm happy, there is no life. There will be life as long as you crave for that. You have an urge for that. That's the reason I believe Shakespeare said, what I want the most is to be contented least. If I am least contented, there is life. If I am 100% contented, no life at all. But emotion says, don't be greedy. Struggling to get the needs are not bad, but becoming greedy somewhere leads you towards negative results. What is negative? What is positive? Again, it is emotional, believe me. There is nothing like negative at all. It is how do you take. Death, whether it is negative or positive, it's a subjective expression. Birth, positive or negative, subjective expression. How do you take it? I'm ending with the preamble itself instead of taking you towards the concept of emotional intelligence. As teachers, we need to motivate our students. As you rightly said, sometimes we need to be harsh. See, for motivating, sometimes we need to use the carrot approach. Carrot approach means giving incentives to them, helping them, supporting them, appreciating them. If they don't work, then you have to give them a hit. That is what management, controlling. In our day-to-day life with our students, we encounter many issues related to emotions. Say for instance, our students will become emotional with regard to their grades, then initiate disciplinary problem, when they encounter attendance problem, relationship related issues, abuse of properties, abuse of the resources inside of the campus, when they get into gangs of different nature, groups of different nature, they may be depressed, frustrated, and may think in terms of dropping out the course, committing suicide, things like that. These are all general tendencies. At these points, it is the teacher's responsibility to use emotional initiatives to solve their problems. For that purpose, you need to be emotionally competent. emotionally intelligent. You need to know how to make use of emotions for better results. That is what emotional intelligence. What is this emotional intelligence is all about? I think I have shown you what is emotional intelligence somewhere. It is not there. Emotional intelligence is the ability of an individual to understand and manage emotions of his own and that of others in order to have better relationship. Better relationship for different purposes, different issues. This is not a new concept. This is a very, very used concept since centuries. But this concept became popular only after the publication of a book of the same title, Emotional Intelligence, a book authored by Daniel Goleman. Am I reaching? Daniel Goleman, in the year 1995, published a book called Emotional Intelligence. Just to say that if you are intelligent in your own subject, intelligent in your own technology, it is not enough. You should inculcate human-related skills, what has become popular today as the soft skills. You will be an excellent mathematics teacher, English teacher, chemistry teacher, commerce teacher. That will not make you effective in your job, efficient in your job. Believe me, there's a difference between effectiveness and efficiency. All efficient persons may not be effective. You must reach to the appropriate target. To reach out to the appropriate target, you need to use certain emotional initiatives, emotional approaches to reach out to the students. A mischievous student can be converted into a serious, studious one through emotional approaches. A good student may be made to lazy because of our emotional actions and reactions. There comes the importance of understanding emotional intelligence. What is it? Goleman gave a simple definition. It is your capacity to understand your emotions first. Understand your emotions. When are you getting angry? When are you getting disturbed? When are you getting greedy? When are you feeling jealous? Sometimes it is a human tendency. All of a sudden, you may get the jealous against somebody, of somebody. You may become jealous of somebody. Think for a while, why I am jealous? Think for a while. That will be the solution for your problem. You may be feeling disturbed, as if you are not having anything under the sun. You may feel lonely. You may feel irritated. There are instances people commit suicide for small and silly issues. Believe me, how emotional they are. Today, don't think otherwise. I read it in today's newspaper in Mysore. An incident wherein in a nearby rural taluk, a nearby town, two brothers have committed suicide. The reason for the suicide, first brother is a farmer, younger brother is the farmer, and the elder one is a businessman somewhere. The younger brother was doing agriculture and he was driving a tractor. Somebody from his village telephoned the elder brother in the city stating that your brother drives tractor very carelessly. Advise him properly. This brother telephoned him and advised him not to drive carelessly. The younger brother took it as a serious offense, thinking that his brother has insulted, he has listened to somebody's words, went and committed suicide. After the elder brother getting this news of his younger brother's suicide, thinking that I am responsible for that suicide, he also committed suicide. It is there, it is reported today in the newspapers in Mysore. If they have the ability to think for a while, apply their mind for a second, that suicide could have been avoided. Many students, after getting the results, may think they have lost everything in this world. No, world is still there. Even we, the grown-ups, by losing something, we may think we have lost everything. No, still there are unused many things. That positive thinking will come only when you have the capacity to understand the reasons for different emotions. I will take you towards this. Emotional intelligence, as developed by Daniel Goleman, is made up of 5 important concepts. What are these 5 important concepts that we need to understand and to become emotionally strong? The first one is self-awareness. Self-awareness. Self-awareness means, in simple words, know yourself, understand yourself. Just think for a while how much you know about you. Will you be getting my question? Self-awareness, how much you know about you. Can you tell me about you in one sentence? Anybody? Can you tell me about you in one sentence? How will you describe yourself? Believe me, this is the most difficult task. You means it is not your name. You means it is not your character, your profession, your place, your richness or otherwise. There is something. What is that you? How much you know about you? Many a time we know more about others and less of ourselves. Know your strength. Know your weaknesses. Identify your competencies. Great men are those who know where they are good at and concentrated on doing that. You should also know where you are good, where you are weak, and after identifying the weakness, don't enjoy that weakness, try to overcome them. Am I reaching? Can you follow me?
Yes.
Yes? Therefore here, try to overcome your weaknesses. First, make an objective assessment of yourself, to know yourself. Take a piece of paper, write down what do you think as your strength? What do you think as your weakness? Based on that, you will identify opportunities and threats for you. This is a simple question that I am asking. Don't think otherwise. My question to you is now, for everybody, the question is, why do you think you are fit to be a teacher? Why do you think you are fit to be a teacher? My question to you. Why do you think you are fit to be a teacher?
So should we write?
You can tell me directly. If you write, I cannot see it now. If it is a direct interactive session, I could have given that assignment to you. Now it is not possible.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ?
Sir, I think I am fit to be a teacher because I understand our students' psychology according to situation, and I will give all the solutions for their problems.
Okay. No, ಬೇರೆಯವರೆಲ್ಲ ಏನೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರ?
Sir, I am passionate towards the teaching. Teaching is my passion.
You like that teaching? That's why it's a passion. That's why you are there. Why do you think you are fit to be a teacher? After joining,
Confidence about my ability, sir.
about you are confident of your ability to do what?
Oh, about my work, my motivations, what are the other things to encourage the students?
Okay.
First of all, my confidence.
You are confident to do this job, teaching. You are confident of teaching. That's why you think you are fit to be a teacher. Anything more?
Maybe we are the capable to cope up the academic issues and the student problem.
Okay. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ನಾವು? Okay, come on. Any more? See here, this is an act of making an introspection, identifying your own competency and encashing on that. You should know what made you or what makes you a good teacher. Instead of asking this question, if I had put it in a negative way, most of you would have become angry with me. If I say, none of you are fit to be a teacher. None of you are fit to be teachers. How do you feel?
Yes, sir.
ಎಷ್ಟು ಧೈರ್ಯ ರೀ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹೇಳಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತೀರಲ್ವಾ?
Yes.
Illa, no, sir.
In the sense, like
Somewhere we heard this.
This leads to an introspection, so that before you make any comment, know yourself. That is the golden rule. Self-awareness. Make an introspection, dig into your own personality, know yourself. That is self-awareness. The second most important concept is self-regulation. Self-regulation means ability to manage oneself. Your capacity to control yourself is the most important thing. You may be talking of controlling others, but believe me, controlling oneself is the tough task. Controlling your own personality, your own anger, your own emotions. If you control your desires, if you control your anxiety, if you control your fear, you can conquer many things. Am I reaching? Self-controlling is the tough task. How to control? I have been talking. How to control? There are two major forces that regulate every individual. They are called internal locus of control and external locus of control. Internal locus of control means people believing that there is some power within me that regulates everything. Such people normally think everything that happens to me, it is because of that something inside me, and I am responsible for everything. Opposite to that, some people think the force of control is outside me, it is beyond my restrictions, it is out of my purview, everything happens because of that power. The second type of people, for everything, they blame others. Why did you fail in the examination? Bad luck, bad teacher, no facilities. That is external locus of control. Why did you fail in the examination? It is because of my inability to prepare. I did not do well in the examination, that's why I prepared. Believe me, too much of emphasis on any of them is not good. Believing only external locus, believing only internal locus, both are not good. If you believe too much on the external locus of control, you will become dependent on outsiders. For everything, you will say, it is because of them, because of them, because of them. Even at the age of 80, somebody says, my parents are responsible for what I am today. Blame the parents. If not the parents, God. Ask any typical poor man in this country, why are you poor? God made me poor. When will you become rich? When he decides. Till that time, what do you do? As he directs. Am I reaching? Elladukku ane baraha karan. External locus of control. If a person believes in himself, he will understand his importance thinks in terms of solving a problem. But further, believe me, too much of emphasis on an internal locus of control also leads to distractions, self-pity, self-criticism, self-hatredness, disappointment, frustration, suicidal. Even Hitler, who thought that it is me, aham brahmasmi, I am everything. Even that's not good. Life is in between. External locus a little, internal locus a little, balance it. That act of balancing is called management. What is management? Management is an act of balancing. You need to smile when you are supposed to smile. You need to cry when it is required. You need to shout when it is inevitable. You need to compromise when it becomes necessary. Balancing. For that purpose, you need to control yourself, balance yourself. For that purpose, again, self-motivation. Self-motivation. Don't expect anybody to motivate you. Be your own boss. Be your own supervisor. Think that you are doing everything for your satisfaction. If anybody asks me, why are you teaching? You should say that that gives me happiness. See, I'm interacting with you on this online class at the cost of abstaining from some other assignments outside because I enjoy teaching. People say, for whose benefit you talk so much? It is for my benefit. I love this. Am I reaching? You may say that because of your liking, you are troubling all of us. Many a time it happens, but I enjoy this. Self-motivation for doing everything, let there be a reason of yours, then you like it. Social awareness. Social awareness means understand the society where you are. Know your surroundings, their likes, dislikes, sufferings, happiness, what makes people happy, what the people appreciate. Particularly for teachers, this is very, very necessary. All students are not the same. There are students from privileged, unprivileged sections of the society. There are students with the encouraging environment. There are students without that. It is the teachers who should balance between all this. I told you on the other day, slow learners, fast learners, no learners will be there. You must aim the average. The fast learners, without you also they can learn, but don't neglect the slow and average learners. That should be the spirit. So that know your society where you are. Learn the social skills. The fifth important component of emotional intelligence is social skills. For this society, how to behave. See, social skills are concerned with learning the society's practices, traditions, customs that are significant to have good relationship. Language is one such social skill. Body language, communication skills, feedback, giving feedback, mingling, socializing skill with the people. These are all social skills. Understand the society, try to become one among them for good cause. I'm not suggesting to you to compromise. If you like the society, society will like you. By becoming one among them, you can change the society, guide the society, make the society yours. A politician, a teacher, a leader need to know what type of audience are there in front of me. And keeping them in mind, you should come out with appropriate suggestions, appropriate presentations with relevant body language, expressions, things like that. That's what makes you a perfect teacher, a perfect leader of others. Despite of this, I thought of telling you something more than this. Self-awareness asks for raising a question like, who are you? Who are you is a philosophical question raised by Socrates finding answer to the question, who am I, is equal to realizing God. Self-awareness is a perception of an individual's own personality based on self-image, self-assessment, self-control, and self-depreciating. Along with this, social skills makes an individual to develop empathy and encourage others, inspire others through communication in order to foster relationships with others. See here, your relations with your students, your colleagues, and members of the society depends on your capacity to communicate positively. Sometimes negative things can also be presented positively, you know. There's a saying in English, how to say a painless no. When you are supposed to say no only. Don't substitute no for yes, yes for no. That leads to disasters. Whatever you want to say it with confidence, but without hurting the feelings of anybody. That is what social skills. For teachers, you know, social competence at the working place, empathy, understanding others, developing others, service orientation, leveraging on diversity, and your awareness makes you a perfect match in the society. For that, the social skills required are ability to influence, communicate, conflict management, leadership, acting as a change catalyst, building bondages with others through collaboration and cooperation. Building team capabilities will make teachers to discharge their duties effectively. I have a couple of tips as a senior teacher to you for the youngsters. Emotionally, we do commit mistakes. When such mistakes happen, don't worry about the mistakes happen. Don't think too much about the wrong things happen to you. Convert every mistake into a milestone. Try to overcome that. Do not depend heavily on others for opinion. Don't depend heavily on others for opinion. Don't expect others to always tell you, you are good, you are good, you are good. Try to have an assessment from within. You are the better judge of yours. Can you follow me? But while judging yourself, be critical. Okay? While judging yourself also, you must be critical. You are your own better judge. Don't depend on others' assessment. Trust your gut feeling. Trust your gut feeling. Many a time, it is your guts that makes you to be successful in anything that you are doing. Trust in yourself. Appreciate yourself. You are doing some good job. First, you appreciate yourself. Unless you do so, others will not do. But don't over project yourself before others. Internally, have that confidence that will make you strong from within. Count your blessings. Don't make comment about only negative things. I don't have that, I don't have this, something like that. You are blessed. How many people in this country have the opportunity to teach in the colleges and the universities? You got that opportunity. Love it. Set realistic goals, practical goals, work for that. Surround yourself with people with positive mind. Okay? Have people with positive thinking always, not the negative ones who always come with comments, criticism. Now, sometimes be positive, appreciate the good work of others. That calls for generosity. You must be generous to appreciate others. While teaching, you know, teach with self-awareness. Teach with self-awareness. That means know your own style. Know your own style of teaching. Play to your strengths. Play to your strength means through your self-assessment, you got to know where you are strong. Concentrate on that strong character of yours while teaching. Know your drivers. Drivers means the force inside you that made you to do all this. If you enjoy your teaching because of the drivers, your presentations will become happier. Being verbal and non-verbal communication. Aware of your verbal and non-verbal communication. As a teacher, when you speak, your body language, your facial expressions, your eye movements are all matters. Students watch all these things. That may give different meanings, lead towards different interpretations. Be careful, cautious, try to match between these. And while using words, be careful. Say for instance, ಕೋಪವನ್ನ ಕಾಸಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುವಾಗ ನಾನು ಕೋಪ ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ ಕಣೋ ಕತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ನು ನನ್ಗನ್ನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಕತ್ತೆಗೆ ನಾನು ಅವಮಾನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ನೇನೋ ಅಂತ. ಪದಗಳನ್ನು ಬಳಸುವಾಗ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಎಚ್ಚರಿಕೆಯಿಂದ ಪದಗಳನ್ನು ಬಳಸಿ. ಅದು ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾವನಾತ್ಮಕ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳು ಬೆಳೆಯಲು ಉಳಿಯಲು ಸಹಾಯಕವಾಗ್ತವೆ. ಪ್ರತಿನಿತ್ಯ ಅಧ್ಯಾಪಕರಾದ ನಮಗೆ ಯುವ ಜನಾಂಗಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾದರಿಯಾಗಬಹುದಾದಂಥ ನಡತೆಯನ್ನ ನಡೆಯುವ ಅವಕಾಶ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ. ಅದರ ಸದುಪಯೋಗ ಪಡಿಸಿಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸಿದರೆ ನಿಜಕ್ಕೂ ನ್ಯಾಯ ದೊರಕಿಸಿದಂತಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನನ್ನ ಅಭಿಪ್ರಾಯ. ಇವತ್ತು ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ ವಿಚಾರ ತುಂಬಾ ವಿಸ್ತಾರವಾದದ್ದು. ನಾನೊಂದು 40ರಿಂದ 50% ಮಾತ್ರ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅನ್ಸೆಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಅನದರ್ 50%. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎನಿ ಕ್ವೆರೀಸ್, ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ಟೈಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳಿ ಅಂತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಇವರು. ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು. ನಾನು ನಿಜವಾಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳಲಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನನ್ನ ಉದ್ದೇಶ. ಏನಾದರೂ ಇದ್ರೆ ಕೇಳಿ, ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಎ ಡೇ. ಎನಿ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್?
ಸರ್ ಬಹುಶಃ
ನಮಸ್ತೆ. ಖಂಡಿತ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ ಸಮಯದ ಅಭಾವ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರನ್ನು ಕಾಡ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ನನ್ನ ಅಭಿಪ್ರಾಯ. ಸೊ ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಮಧುಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಂಜುಂಡಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಸರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ 1:50ಕ್ಕೆ ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಹೇಳಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ there might be many questions or many feelings to be shared with you. I don't know, any participants that can share in a few minutes?
Quick, make it quick.
ಸರ್ ಬಹುಶಃ ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಮಧ್ಯೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಕೇಳಿದೀವಿ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಚರ್ಚೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಲ್ಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. So I like your teaching very much, sir, because here in this program we have listened from all the you have listened lecture from all the professors, but apart from those professors, I like you very much personally because you have given us a chance to reply ourselves in meanwhile you are lecturing, sir. So that's why I like you very much, sir, and I like your teaching also, sir. Thank you very much for giving us a wonderful lecture, sir.
Thank you. If you feel like making any comment on that also, you can. If you want to raise some serious questions, you can interact with me at any time. Thank you all for the wonderful opportunity to interact with you. Once again, world is very small. Given an opportunity, if we meet anywhere, let us say hello to each other. Thank you all.
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Share your email
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
One week mandate. ಇನ್ನು ಯಾರು ಹೊರಗೆ ಬರಬಾರು. 25.
I think it's already time. I think we can take a leave and we'll get back to the session by 1:50.
Yes, sir. ತುರುಡೇಗೌಡ ಸರ್, ಊಟ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬನ್ನಿ ಸರ್.
ಸರ್ ಊಟಕ್ಕೂ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
ಸರ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು, ನೀವ್ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಕಾಯ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ.
ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ? ನಾನಿಲ್ಲ
ಸರ್, ನಾ ಮನೇಲೆ ಕೂತಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
ಹೌದ್ರಾ?
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್, ಊಟ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬನ್ನಿ ಸರ್.
ಸರಿ ಸರಿ.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್. सर वरुण कुमार सर, सर अब लंच ब्रेक है.
अब
सर सर खाना खाएंगे अब, बाद में मिलेंगे.
हाँ,
खाना हुआ सर आपका?
नहीं, बस जाऊंगा, आप परमिशन देंगे तो.
यस सर, सभी जा रहे हैं, जाएंगे सर. अच्छा जाएंगे, फिर मिलेंगे खाना होने के बाद.
ओके ओके सर.
ओके सर, थैंक यू.
153 BSc first year, that barcode ID number is 5453, sir. 5453. No, sir, 5453. Sir. No, sir, 54. 53.
ದೇವರಾಜ್ ಸರ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಹಲೋ
ಹಲೋ ಪುರುಡೇಗೌಡ್ರ, ಹಲೋ, ಊಟ ಆಯ್ತಾ?
ಆಯ್ತು ಸರ್, ನಿಮ್ದು ಆಯ್ತಾ?
ಚೆನ್ನಾಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ ಅವತ್ತು ಸೆಮಿನಾರು. ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಂತಿದ್ದೆ, ಈಗ ಟೈಮ್ ಸಿಕ್ತು ನೋಡ್ರಿ. ಅದೇ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ. ಗುಡ್. ಸರಿ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಾಟ್ ಆಡಿಯಬಲ್.
ಮೇಡಮ್ 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 ಈ ಬುಕ್ ತಗೋ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ. ಕಿರಣ್ ಸರ್